in Egypt, Lebanon, and especially in Paris. Our prayers and our thoughts go to their families, their communities, because this attack and attacks like this is an affront to all of humanity. And these people, these monsters, the only people they represent and the only ideology they represent is themselves. They do not represent anyone else except their own evil. And the purpose of these attacks are to put fear and division. And what we need now is courage, like you have come today, is to come and across the divide of race, class and faith and come together, united, to give a message that we stand in solidarity with everyone. There's no place for hate, there's no place for violence anywhere in the world or in any communities. And no matter what, no matter how many of us die, like my grandfather who served in World War II, and the 500,000 Muslims that served, who fought fascism, we stand united for our values of liberalism and democracy. And we come here tonight to say, you will not put fear. We will not turn on each other. We say no to violence, to hatred, and we're here to say that love is greater than hate. Yes. That love, unity, courage is what the world needs. Violence, hatred and darkness, there's no place. And together we all stand and take a message across to our families, our streets, our city and to this country. We are united in love and hope for everyone. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Sajid. Those were really beautiful words. Now, Councillor Linda Woodings from Basford would like to say a few words.
Thank you very much. I'm here to speak on behalf of my colleagues on the Nottingham City Council Labour Group, and I want to thank Nadia Whittam for organising this vigil today. Like you and every right-minded person, I was horrified by the 3 terrorist attacks last week on innocent, unarmed citizens in Lebanon, in Iraq, and this weekend in Paris. And so we meet tonight at this vigil to remember and to mourn the victims of these callous actions. These horrific acts has left us deeply shocked and saddened. And so we join here tonight to convey our sympathy and our solidarity with the victims and their families. These attacks were designed to undermine us, to divide us, and to make us feel afraid. We shall not let them succeed in that aim. We simply become more determined to unite against any organisation that seeks to achieve power by sheer terror and mass murder. And we shall continue to treasure our freedoms and values, values like those that are so ingrained in the culture of France and Paris: liberty, equality and fraternity, and overarching that, democracy. Our democracy holds that every voice, and by extension every person, has equal value. But most of all, democracy requires that we agree to differ in a civilised way. And the suicide bombers and gunmen who indiscriminately took the lives of unarmed civilians did not agree to differ. So although we mourn for the people who have suffered, those who died, those who are injured, their families and loved ones, we will not let these terrible acts destroy our faith in the extraordinary kindness of the human spirit. It's that spirit of kindness and humanity that sees us gathered here tonight in solidarity. It's that spirit that led a woman to shed tears at the minute's silence in front of the council house earlier today. And it's that spirit that enables us to ensure that we carry forward our values with determined vigour, to treat each other with respect, to celebrate our achievements and our diversity together, and to resolve to make our world more peaceful through our thoughts and words, rather than through the cowardice of terror. To all those affected by these acts across the world, our message is one message: solidarity. Solidarity and peace. I also have a message from Glenys Wilmot, who is our member of the European Parliament and the leader of the Labour Party in Europe, which she has asked me to read out to you. Glenys says, "Over the last few days, we have all looked on in horror at events in Paris, Beirut and Baghdad. My thoughts are with the family members, friends and loved ones of those who have been murdered in these atrocious crimes. It is at the most difficult times that people's true nature shines through, and I have been proud of the reaction of people across Britain, Europe and beyond who have made clear that they continue to stand by fundamental principles such as tolerance, openness and compassion. We stand in solidarity with those affected by these crimes. We stand in solidarity with those who are working to keep us safe and to bring those responsible to justice. And we stand in solidarity tonight with people across Europe and around the world who will not allow the perpetrators of these crimes to spread hatred, violence and fear. These murders were an attack on our common values. It is those very same values that unite us at times like this. Over the last few days, we have all looked on in horror. My thoughts are with the family members and friends and loved ones. We stand in solidarity with them. These murders were an attack on our common values, and I thank you for coming here tonight to share your solidarity with them. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Linda. Now, Julia Mola from the Kurdish People's Assembly will speak to you. Thank you.
We are unfortunately witnessing the escalation of Daesh's attacks against civilians and their severe consequences. We condemn and denounce the Paris and Beirut attacks and deeply share the suffering of the peoples of France and Lebanon. From Beirut to Reyhanli, from Zurich to Paris, from Baghdad to Kobani, from Tunis to Ankara, all those who have been victims of the repeated attacks of Daesh against humanity have made us aware that we must mobilize against Daesh and all jihadist organizations. It is of extreme importance for the protection of democracy and freedom to develop measures that halt this logic of mass destruction. The fact that these organizations are able to take action so easily in Turkey and in Europe is also the responsibility of the countries that directly or indirectly support these groups. We fully share the suffering of the peoples of France and Lebanon and express our solidarity with them. We express our deep condolences to the communities that have been exposed to these massacres. Thank you.
Thank you, Julia. Now, Jassim Ghafour from the Iraqi Refugees Organisation will say a few words.
Hello, good evening. I express my condolences on behalf of the Iraqi Federation of Refugees and Kurdish community in Nottingham. What we see in the recent days is the continuation of the brutal planning of the destruction by the terrorist organization of ISIS and their supporting partners like Turkey as a government, and it is a member of the NATO. It's unfortunately that we are experiencing all this sadness, and we experiencing the brutality of this organization throughout the world. I think Kurdish peoples, especially in Kobani and in Kurdistan, they have shown the humanity and shown international community that this group can be defeated if people are united, if people have wills to fight them. But what we've seen, unfortunately, the some European countries, they have made it very clear that they supported this organization. They armed them. They armed them and they used their grounds for training. And this organization cannot be defeated in this way. I think what we have experienced in the last 2 years in Kobanian places, that children and innocent people have been brutalized, that is giving us an opportunity to think twice about this organization, because they have this agenda that they want to brutalize and they want to terrorize the international community all over the world. So we have the duty and we have responsibility as human beings in this time of the century, that we have to defeat this organization and what they're planning in the world. We ask you and we urge everyone in Nottingham and elsewhere to join us, to join Kurdish community in the fight against ISIS. We have asked everyone in the last 2 years. We have held meetings and protests. We urge you again that this organization can be defeated if we are united. We know there is a political game going on in the world. We don't know the scale of the destruction that this organization caused in the last 2 years in Syria, in Kurdistan, in Iraq, and in that area. We know a lot of countries and companies, they're trying to use this tragedy as excuse for their arms trading. But we have to stop this atrocity. We have to stop this tragedy by unifying our forces and being together, and to have the message for love and peace for everyone on this planet. We can say we can defeat ISIS, we can defeat this terrorist organization if we are all united and we are all plan to do so. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Jassim. I have a message of solidarity and friendship to all those affected by terrorism and violence from Lillian Greenwood MP of Nottingham South, which I'll read to you now. Lillian says, "I'm sorry that I'm unable to join you at tonight's vigil, but I stand with you in solidarity with the victims of terrorism and violence in Paris, Beirut, Baghdad, Syria, and other cities and countries across the globe. I'm proud to represent a multicultural city that values the diversity of people living here. Nottingham has a proud history, not just of tolerance, but of celebrating the rich mix of heritage and culture from around the world found in our population. Sadly, there are those who would use the tragedy in Paris to spread division and fear. They must not succeed. We must stand united as a community in opposition to hatred and violence wherever it is found." Now Josie Sawtell Cousins will read a poem for you.